Hello, everyone. So, welcome to Refill Your Glass, where every Monday you learn quick and simple ways to improve your mindset, health, and well-being so you can replenish your mind and body. Hello, everyone. My name is Amy Glass, but if you don't know me, I am the founder of A Glass of Natural Health and Wellness, the community helping you break free and transform to create a happier, healthier, more abundant life that you deserve. So, today's topic is the growing popularity of alternative therapies and how they can contribute to various facts and why this is what is happening? What is this trend? Why are people seeking it? And why is the alternative therapy world basically become so popular? That's what we're going to talk about today. People seek alternative therapies to complementary have all different types of approaches and to conventional medicine. So basically, anything that the medical world basically considers anything alternative that is basically natural or that doesn't involve actual medicine or procedures. So that's what the alternative therapy means. So it embodies a whole range of things. And for someone that has been in the medical world due to chronic illness since they were pretty much born, I can tell you that I've also been for a while now in the alternative therapy space because unfortunately the medical world is brilliant in what it knows, but it doesn't know everything. And I find that having a holistic approach is the best, not just like one thing solves everything, because it doesn't. You need to have a holistic approach. And I took this to the next level. If you haven't already been following me before, that I've studied and practiced or practicing now sound healing. And I was, if you would have told me like 12 months ago that I'd be a qualified sound healer, I probably would have told you to off because I was not in that world at all. I have a naturopath. My naturopath is incredible. I'm all about following a proper diet and exercise and all that, and mindset, obviously mindset. Like I am a mindset coach. I have a forensic psychology background, and I know that the benefits of having a positive mindset and having if this is not going great, then your body's not going to be going great. And I know that and also if your body's not great, this is not going to be great either. And I also know from personal experience the dangers of chronic stress, how it manifests into physical symptoms and quite serious symptoms. I also know firsthand what mental health, like suffering from mental health. I've had a few mental health conditions throughout my life, and no doubt I'll probably continue well. I think anyone that has a chronic illness is going to have bad days, especially if it's pain related. If anyone that has chronic pain, they will tell you that, especially on when they are feeling really high levels of pain, they are not in a great mindset. No matter how chilled and relaxed they are and how embodied they are in their mindset, they are still going to feel crappy because it's just the way the body works. However, there are ways to put that thing in. So when I started in this space, I wanted to I was practicing meditation and was finding the incredible benefits with that. I was definitely my stress levels had definitely increased. I've become out of that stress state, that chronic stress state. My body is still recovering from that. And that is like 12 months. I'm still recovering from that. And, with chronic stress and also being exposed to quite traumatic things throughout my life, all that gets stored in your body, and that basically creates long-term physical symptoms. Now, I am aware that some of what they believe were my chronic, part of my condition are not. They are just unique to me, and that's probably because of the significant amount of chronic stress that I've had and stored trauma. So I'm currently going through all of that. So I wanted to talk about the trend and the growing popularity of alternative therapies, because I've now embodied it. And you can probably see in my background that I've got a crystal sound bowl there. Can you see? No, my chair's blocking it. I've got all my chakra tuning forks on behind me as well, and next to me are my beautiful crystal bowls, all 7 of chakra ones. So I'm definitely obviously a person that's converted and wanted to share this wonderful space. And it's not just sound healing, it's all kinds of things. So we're going to talk about what exactly the alternative I don't know why I'm doing this, because a lot of people do these on the alternative space. Alternative therapies come in, or they call it a bit woo woo or whatever they want to call it. But it is basically, at the end of the day, it's taking a holistic approach to better your life. So let's get into it. So the growing popularity of alternative therapies, I reckon it's probably definitely since COVID, it has like Google searches for sound healing. Why am I doing? My mouse is doing crazy things. Sound healing, naturopaths, Reiki. What's another one off the top of my head? Hypnosis. All these sorts of things or crystal healing has been, the Google search for them since COVID has gone up 3 to 4 to 500%. That's an insane increase. There's a massive, massive trend in this. And I didn't join it to be popular. I was exposed to it due to social media. And I've gone and I did my research and I've gone, you know what? This is something for me. It's going to help me heal my trauma. It's going to help me with my pain. And it really helps with my pain. It helps with my stress, because I have a stressful day job. My job is never going to be less stressful. If anything, it's probably going to become more and more stressful. But it's a job that, I at the moment love doing, and it if you know who I am, you know what I do for a living of the day. It's very opposite to what we are talking about now. So what is the alternative therapy space? So some of the key reasons why there's been a significant increase in this trend is because it's like I've said a couple of times, it's a holistic approach. It's an alternative therapies that often emphasize a holistic approach to health, considering the physical, mental, and emotional aspects of an individual. So it's not just focusing on one part. I definitely know that with when I had a eating disorder in my teens, early 20s, we did the traditional therapy, the traditional cognitive behavioral therapy. And guess what? It only got me to a point. And then I just kept going. And to be honest, those body image issues is still present today. And it's because we just basically put a nice path over the thing, and we didn't figure out the root cause of it. We didn't figure out why my body wasn't absorbing food, why I was becoming anorexic, all those sorts of things. And I think if I knew what I knew now, and have a holistic approach and have a naturopath and do hypnosis and do all these sound healings, I think it would have 100% been like dealt with correctly, and not just basically pathed over and continued and just been simmering away underneath the surface, like a few of the trauma events that have happened in my life. They're all just there, just layer upon layer upon layer, with the chronic stress and all the stuff. All the illnesses have still been there. The evidence is still in my body, and I'm still, despite being very self-aware and very holistic approach for over 12 months, my body is still dealing with all that stored trauma and chronic stress. So it is very, very, it's a big passion of mine to share this sort of stuff and to help others, because I know, like I said, firsthand, I know what chronic stress can do to you. I've felt it myself. I've been in those shoes. I see it in my colleagues every day. It is not a coincidence that, first responders, they retire and they look 20 years older than they are. And they tend to, a lot of them die quite early, unfortunately, from chronic illnesses and stuff like that. And it's because the stresses of the job, being in a chronic state of stress. So it's a holistic approach. And that's why it has been a big focus, because it's, like I said, it's not just focusing on one part, it's taking that whole embodiment. The approach resonates with so many people because who prefer comprehensive and integrated views of their well-being. They don't just want they want the healthy mind, the healthy body. They want the energy to flow. They want all of it. Why would you have one good arm and not another good arm? You want both good arms. Like, it's that kind of thing. All right. Number 2 is personalized care. So alternative therapies can often focus on individual treatments, so individualized treatment plans. So it's not just a cookie cutter approach. GPs, nurses, doctors, they're all wonderful in their space and they know what they know. Unfortunately, they don't. If you come with a rare thing, if you like, my condition is super duper rare. It took my parents noticed something was something wasn't, I don't want to say wrong, because I've been told my entire life that there was something wrong with me, and that's had significant mental health responses to it. And it's not no one's fault. It's just words have very powerful meanings. But something was not quite right, basically. Okay. And so that's from 2. I wasn't diagnosed until I was 14. I had serious surgery at 11. Yeah, that's a whole nother story. So wasn't diagnosed till 14. And realistically, since then, it's pretty much been me looking after myself and taking my health into my own hands. So yes, I have a wonderful team of doctors, but realistically, whenever there's a big hiccup or something going wrong, it's just guessing. It's just guessing because they don't know. So I came in this space, I really realized this in 2009, 2010, 2009. 2008, 2009, because I was really, really sick and I was basically dying, and no one could figure out why. I was going to doctors and specialists and having test after test and after test, and to the point where I honestly thought that I was mentally ill, that I was making it all up, because that no one could figure out what was wrong with me. And I cannot remember how I found my naturopath that I have now, but I did, and she saved my life. And yeah, and that was my exposure to it. And yes, I stepped away from it, allowed the negativity of the world take effect, and then I really came back into it start of last year or even the year before, and I will never go back. Never go backwards. I'm gonna, if anything, it's just gonna keep expanding, and I'll be able to share what I learn and study and all that sort of stuff. So it's personalized care. It's taking account into your needs, your personal characteristics and circumstances. It's personalized care, one-on-one. The personalized approach contrasts with more standardized treatments commonly found in conventional medicine. We know this. It's cookie cutter. You have an earache, you get antibiotics. You have sore throat, you have antibiotics. You've got pain, take pain meds, instead of figuring out what is actually the cause of it. It's preventative health, holistic approach. Alternative therapies are preventative care. Many alternative therapies place a strong emphasis on prevention, health, and measures. So it's aiming to address root causes of health issues before they actually become more serious. So this is a proactive approach instead of a reactive approach, which is tend to be the medical world. They only get involved when something's wrong. Hey, like you don't go to the doctor just to say, hey, you go to the doctor when you're sick. And whereas alternative therapies are there to make sure that you don't get sick, to reduce your stress, to make your body as healthy as possible. So to avoid sickness and mental health disorders and all those sorts of things. So it's a proactive approach, and that to me is number one, proactive instead of reactive. Because if you're proactive, you won't have to react. And unfortunately, our world is a very reactive space, and most people only get involved in this space when they have been diagnosed with a really chronic illness. And sometimes it's a little bit too late, but most things can be turned around. So this is why I'm sharing it now. So hopefully you're listening and going, hey, I haven't been sleeping that well. I am really stressed, or I'd like to feel a bit more healthy. I'd like to have more energy. I'd like to feel happier and healthier. Then you start looking into other areas. And if you want information, I'm here to give it to you. Just reach out and say, what have you done? What's worked? What hasn't worked? Because I've gone through a lot of stuff and know what has and hasn't worked. So with alternative therapies, there's minimum to zero side effects compared to the medicine world. Some individuals turn to alternative therapies to minimize potential side effects associated with pharmaceutical drugs. And, natural remedies, dietary changes, and lifestyle modifications are often seen as gentler alternatives to taking a pill, popping a pill. Like I said, my condition has chronic pain. I will not take pain medication until it's absolute last resort, sorry. And normally that's my husband saying, please take something because I can't see you suffering anymore. I will meditate. I will listen to particular solfeggio frequency for pain and stress. The bowls also do the same thing. Tuning forks do the same thing. I follow an anti-inflammatory diet to be proactive and reduce the amount of pain, gentle exercise, all those sorts of things, reducing the stress, finding the root cause instead of, popping a pill. Cultural and historical practices. So alternative therapies have deep roots in culture. Like the medicine world hasn't been around for very long compared to these alternative therapies and traditional practices. Some people may be drawn to them as a way of connecting to their culture with their heritage and exploring time-tested healing methods. So we've got Chinese medicine, some of those practices that have been around for thousands of years. Sound healing has been around for thousands of years. Historians originally thought that sound healing was created by the Egyptians, but they found a temple in Malta that was 1,000 years older than the pyramids. Crazy, hey? And that it had a particular frequency. It was used for grieving, releasing pain, and all that from death, and celebrating someone's life. It was a massive chamber that was developed for sound and particular frequencies. So it was absolutely incredible. I think you can YouTube it, Google it or whatever. But it's very interesting. The Egyptians used sound healing they actually had, what they call doctors or healers would use sounds to find out what was wrong with the patient. First Nations people say that the didgeridoo can heal most conditions, even broken bones. Native Americans have drums, and so did the Africans as well. Most cultures have sound. Gongs are incredibly powerful, the frequencies, and they're, from the Asian countries. So there's already so many alternative therapies that have been used for thousands of years and still being used today, and they are still effective. So they've got something right. Hey, it makes you kind of sit and think if you've never tried one before. So another one is patient empowerment. So alternative therapies often encourage individuals to actively participate in their own healing process. And the empowerment can be appealing to those who want to be more active role in managing their health. Me, I definitely want to be an active role. I don't want my health in the hands of someone else. I want to know what's going on because I have to live this life. They don't. How do they know what I'm truly feeling? So that's my, takeaway from that. Access to information. So with the rise of the internet and increased access to information, people are more informed about alternative therapies. It's not about woo and witchcraft and all the nonsense that has had historically been labeled, tarnished with it. There is scientific evidence to back it up now. There is scientific evidence that backs it up. And I've, personally, so like I said, I see a naturopath and she does live blood analysis. She's legally allowed to do that. And so with that, she studies, from a single drop of blood, she studies what is going on in the body. It is absolutely mind-blowing what a drop of blood can tell you. And, one time we decided that we wanted to see how the tuning forks would go with that particular blood sample. And it was incredible to watch under the microscope how the little cells started vibrating and moving and doing what they should be doing. And it was absolutely incredible. And I'm just like, if this is the 30 seconds or 10 seconds, however long the tuning fork goes for, imagine what the sound bowls can do. And in like a half an hour session, a 5-minute session, a half an hour session, an hour session, what all the alternative therapies can do for you. So it's absolutely incredible. So perceived effectiveness. So positive, there's heaps and heaps of positive testimonials and accolades and actual evidence from individuals who have experienced the benefits from alternative therapies, me included. I've done a few healing sessions on some friends, and one in particular who has MS, and she came in with a cracking headache and, tingles down her one leg. And, she takes a lot of medicine for that particular thing, and it's wasn't working on that particular day. And I did a sound healing on her. Headache was gone, tingling was gone. And she's a person that was completely against it. She was only doing it to support me. And she was converted. She's completely converted now. She's like, oh, wow, this is amazing. So I'm hoping to continue to convert. My husband was one of them. He supports me in whatever I do, but he is not in this space whatsoever. And he's had healing sessions and it's definitely worked for him. So I don't think he will tell you that it's amazing, but I can definitely notice his behavior changes after it. So whether he thinks it or not, it does work. And the last but not least is the focus on the mind-body connection. Alternative therapies such as yoga, meditation, acupuncture emphasize the connection between the mind and the body. This is an integral approach which aligns with the growing awareness of and the impact of mental and emotional well-being on overall health. There is neuroscientists that are realizing, they're doing significant studies on stored trauma and how that is affecting your mental and physical health. If you don't believe me, Google it. There is, if you've ever heard the word shadow work, that is what that is. It's dealing with stored trauma, how that it's basically storing toxic, whatever you want to call it, in your body, and it has significant effects. If you want to read a particular book, it's a really, really good book, or follow a particular doctor or a couple of doctors. So there's one that's called Gabor Matier. He's a Canadian doctor, and he's written a book. He's written a few books, and he talks about how the chronic stress just is basically destroying your body and mind. Dr. Barbara O'Neill, she teaches how to heal your body naturally through using just what nature has already. And I've been doing a couple of her things, and to help to complement my naturopath. And yeah, things are getting better and better. So the more research you do, or if you want some information, I can give you some guides and stuff like that. But yeah, so alternative therapies. So what's your take on alternative therapies? Let me know in the comments what you think. Are you a person, like, are you for them? Are you against them? Do you think that we need to have a holistic approach to your health, and not the cookie cutter approach? What is your take on it? Do you feel that this is a space that will continue to grow, or do you think it's just a trend? I'd love to know your thoughts on it. So let me know in the comments. I personally a big promoter on listening to our bodies, and figuring out what's right for you, because it's not a cookie cutter approach. Everyone is different, and something that might work for someone else might not work for you. But most of these alternative therapies generally do work for everyone, whereas I do find that some medicines don't work for everyone. So we could talk about that for a long time, but we're already going over time. So I would love to hear if you're currently using any alternative therapies, or if you are interested in trying them. What's something that you always wanted to try but you've been too scared to, or you don't know where to go because you don't want to be ripped off or a bit scared or whatever. So let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for joining me today. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this particular training. Remember to like and comment and subscribe for more trainings to improve your mindset, health, and wellness naturally. And until next Monday, remember to refill your glass and get your thirst back for life. Bye, everyone.